Welcome to this episode of the Tea With Me podcast with me, Shane Todd. Before we get into this episode, let me plug a few things. Dan, will I have done my second night at SSE by the time this comes out? Great. SSE Arena, 13th of November. It'll be my second one, Saturday night. 4 tickets still available. There's 5. So you can get them on Ticketmaster. Put a link in the description of this. It'll be the biggest show that I've ever done. You can come see that. Also, I've got to plug Patreon, patreon.com/teawithmepodcast. We do a bonus episode on a Monday, live stream on a Friday. Dan will post the odd selfie of himself. It's good value. Patreon.com/teawithmepodcast. Now, let's get into the two big hitters that back this podcast. Kicking off with Thompson's Tea, who are the guys behind Punjana. Now, you might not know this, but these guys started making tea in the 1800s, and before that, Belfast was just chaos. You know, those times of, you know, who did you have? The Romans, you know, all these different kinds of guys. And honestly, when the Thompson family invented Punjana, it all stopped, and I think we'll all agree it's been plain sailing here since. I think the catalyst for peace here, and I hope they don't mind me saying it, has been Punjana. It's been keeping because you know you would have had divisions in the past back then, but all the Thompson family did was pour the cup, say, hey, have a swig of that. Oh, all of a sudden, peace and love. These guys have been making tea since the 1800s. A lot of people think Punjana comes from a far away place, like, because it's exotic, a far away place, like, you know, Alicante or Malaga. That's the best I could do. But it doesn't. It's made in Belfast. It's been made in Belfast for 100 years. It's Northern Ireland's #1 selling tea. You know what Punjana are all about. You know what their slogan is. Fuck the best, we're the rest. No, that's not. No, that's not what it. That's everyone else's slogan. They say they thought about that one and then they sacked the guy who said that, and then they said, fuck the rest, we're the best. That's what it is. That's what Punjana is. It's Northern Ireland's #1 selling tea. You know it. We love it. And thanks to them for sponsoring the podcast. Also, we're sponsored by Manscaped. Now, yes, pubic hair used to be a taboo subject. Used to be, if you ever said to a friend, what do you like down there? You could have gone to McGabry for 5 to 6 years. Not anymore. We're talking about it. We're showing friends. You know, would you like to see what's happening down here? What do you recommend? You know, nowadays you can go into a barber's and you can get a skin fade down there as well as up there. It doesn't matter. But Manscaped are men's below the belt grooming products. They're the #1. We use it in here. Not like we use it at home, but everyone in here uses it. I was going to say separately, but I know Dan and Mike like to give each other the cut, and it's great. These guys do ball deodorant, ball toner, ball wipes, the Lawnmower 4.0, the Weed Whacker. If you're, like Mike, you get hair in your ears and your nose, which I haven't yet. You've got that. Great for travel, and also great for this time of the year, because this is the time of year where you go, nah, I'll wait for summer next year. Take care of it now. It's like, what's an example of something you go, I'll deal with that later, and then it becomes a bigger problem? Japanese knotweed. It's like Japanese knotweed. A lot of guys, even in Northern Ireland, a lot of guys down there have something akin to Japanese knotweed. You think it's fine, you think it's nothing, and before you know it, everyone in a 2-mile radius has to move house. But you can stop that. Do you want to keep living where you live? Manscaped.com. Use the code TEAWITHME for 20% off and free shipping. Don't. And also, something I read as well is the Lawnmower 4.0 has anti-snag technology. So there you go. Don't snag your bag. Manscaped.com. Don't be wick to your dick. Don't cut your mutt. Is that horrible? Can you say you got that? And no one calls it that. Anyway, manscaped.com. Use code TEAWITHME for 20% off and free shipping. All that stuff's in the bio. But let's get into this episode. My guest today is, you guys might have seen, look, this podcast, we're over on TikTok. We're doing the TikTok thing. I don't know what TikTok is. I'm on it. I don't know what to do. I'm like, I'm like your dad at a Tiesto concert. I'm there and I'm claiming to enjoy the music, but I don't understand it. But I've been aware of this guy for a few years, seen different projects he's been doing. And look, I enjoy Magic. I enjoy Magic a lot, but it's something I struggle to enjoy because I need to know like how it's done. But in the last while, I've realized that's what Magic is. You don't know how it's done. You don't know how it's done. My guest today is Joel M. But may I drop the M and just call you Joel?
You may, absolutely.
Excellent. It'd be
Please
so
call me
awkward if I
Joel.
had to say Joel M conversationally.
It's a
all
weird
day.
one still getting used. People will now say Joel M. Only reason I call it Joel M is the surname was too long to spell on posters and that sort of thing.
Your
People
surname's
used
Mawhinney?
Mawhinney. And, well, here we understand it, but go anywhere else and they're like, what?
But here's
So
a
I
good
dropped
thing.
it.
Joel M also sounds a little bit French or Korean. So that's nice, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that is
Joel M,
true.
like it sounds like one.
That's true. I mean, it was kind of Cardi B, and I thought, well, I can do that. So I'll do Joel M. But I hate saying it. I
You
will
know Northern Irish Cardi B?
very similar. We've been compared frequently. It is a silly thing that when people do say, "Oh, it's Joel M." I kind of go, "Ooh, don't know." Feels weird, you know.
Right.
Feel like you're getting too big for your boots, type thing. You know what I mean?
Because I know some people with sort of stage names or persona names. Was there anything else in the mix?
There was never no, and it just kind of came across by accident. I was speaking to another magician. He said, "Oh, Mawhinney's terrible. Just go M." And I thought, "Okay, I'll do
Sly.
that." And then it was kind of stuck. Yeah,
'Cause there's Mawhinney sausages, no?
there are. Yeah, no
So
relation.
that's a
sadly.
proof. But that's proof that it can work.
But this is true. I mean, it's isn't it David Mawhinney sausages? I think it is possibly.
know.
Well, my middle name is David, so
Right.
there's something there. But they've
Do
made
you know
it
what?
work.
You make magic out of anything because I don't know what you did there, but there was all of a
Something
sudden there was a
happened,
link.
boys.
Yeah.
Something happened. No, I've never actually. Well, maybe I don't think I've tried Mawhinney sausages, but I've heard they're very good.
Have you ever had to write magician on like a form?
Yes. Well,
Because I get weird about writing comedian.
I'm sure I was about to say, yeah,
Yeah.
similar sort of thing. And whenever the first time it was weird was getting car insurance, and they were like, "So what do you do?" And I didn't want to say magician because I barely was. It was just left school, starting to do it, and I wasn't really
yeah, and
working that
part-time
much.
magician's a weird term.
Yeah, it sounds awful. So I decided, what was it I went for? The girl actually felt a bit sorry for me, and she was like, "Right, well, we go like digital marketer," because I had like a Facebook page, you know what I mean? So we never actually wrote magician, but now and again I do have to do it. Now, I mean, I'll go to any lengths to not write magician down because of course then questions can ask, you know.
Yeah, but you don't need to write it down. You just look at it, visualize, and then all of a sudden it's down.
Just focus
But-
really hard.
I do get weird about saying comedian. Like for example, if I'm in a taxi and the guy goes, "What do you do?"
Oh yeah.
Sometimes I'll say, "Oh, writer," but then they ask you what you write. And one time a guy asked me what I write, and I said literature,
Oh, no.
and then just left it there. And he looked
Oh,
at me
no.
like, "The fuck you talking about?"
That's not good. Yeah, I've it's a weird one because I think with magician people they can't just leave it there. They want to say a trick, obviously. So
Same, exactly the
they're
same
like,
thing.
"Tell me
Tell
a
us
joke." Yeah. Oh, that's worse than do a trick.
Yeah,
That's way worse.
but will you always do it, or
If
will you
they
think
ask,
not?
I'll do it. Yeah, if they ask, I'll do it. I mean, because you don't want to meet a magician and the one magician you meet not do any magic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It kind of ruins it for everyone. So I will do something. It is tricky though. If it's like a taxi, what do? He's driving the car. You know what I mean? So you have to.
All of a sudden you click your fingers and you're driving it and he's in the back.
Yeah, see, that would be. I wish I could use magic for actual useful stuff like that, not just TikTok videos.
What's your go-to?
Go to? Well, it depends. I mean, if I'm with the person and there's no barrier, like a car, for example, they're a really quick card trick or something like that, done really fast.
Yeah.
Tricky in Northern Ireland in the winter where your hands are freezing cold.
Right.
That's a tricky one. Or do we?
Magicians can't work here for 4 months.
We're
of the
actually
year.
useless. No, I did an event the other day, and it was indoor, but it was a St George's Market, and an hour in, I was like, I don't know if I still have this in my hands.
Right.
Are like locked freezing. Did one in Newry a couple of years back, and had to just revert to just basically chatting to people towards the end because I just couldn't do it. Hands locked, freezing cold.
The
Yeah.
ultimate trick in Uri would be taking diesel and turning it red.
That would be. My uncle's very good at that. He's fantastic.
He's
fantastic.
McGabry's number
He
one
is.
magician.
He actually is. Yeah, it's a joke, but it's true. Yeah, we work together. No, it's I've only done a few gigs in Newry now, and they've both been interesting ones.
Well, there's loads of stuff I want to ask you, but I only know performing from a comedy point of view, and there's comedy clubs, there's established comedy nights, and you want to be a comedian, you go to a spot there, and you go to that one. But magic seems like something that there's not like, unless you tell me different, it doesn't seem to be like a circuit where
No.
once a month this venue has a magic night or that sort of
Not
thing.
really. Well, there's one in Belfast, but that's only recent, maybe 4 years ago. There's one. It's not even on at the minute because of COVID, obviously. But it was called Midweek Magic, and that's kind of it's like the one place I went to test new stuff, and it was Black Box.
Oh,
And
yeah.
the, you know,
I
the
did my
green,
first
the
gig
green room.
Yeah, I did
well,
my first gig there.
Me too. Yeah, that's a few people I know are like that. It's a good starter spot. I did my first ticketed show there as well in the green room. Good fun. But they did a night called Midweek
By the
Magic.
way,
It was good fun.
So did I.
Did you?
My first ticketed show.
No way.
Yeah.
Big room,
Say
green room. What did you do?
say any food on 3 that just comes in. No, I'm no magician. Say any food that comes in your head on 3.
See, do you know what's mad is when you're a magician, the pressure now is on. It's like he should get that right, even if it's
No,
not the same food.
we'll get this right.
Oh,
Ready?
God. Well, hang on. Are we talking favorite food or just any
No,
food?
just
Right.
a food that's
Okay.
in your head.
Yeah, have it.
So I've got. I feel like I've got yours. I don't know if you have mine
Okay.
or not.
Yeah,
1,
I know
2,
yours.
3. Avocado.
Pizza, avocado.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
midweek magic.
It may have sounded like I said something different there, but I did actually say avocado.
That's the trick.
It's
yeah.
just I need a drink of water. See, I just misspoke very quickly, but we're in sync.
I mean, midweek magic. I mean, I don't know.
Mm.
I think I'd only really want. I feel like I want weekend magic.
This was the thing. It was on a Wednesday night. You know what I mean? She didn't really get a mad crowd out. And those that
Is
were
there-
mad, they had problems.
Is there a mad magic crowd?
Do you know it's a weird one because growing up in Bangor, I thought I was the only magician in the country because there was no, like in London you have the Magic Circle and stuff like that, but here I didn't think there was anything like that. So when I heard about this magic night, I was like, holy smokes, there's more of us. And there's not many, but there's a few.
It's like
you know?
X-Men.
It is very much like that, yeah. And we're a very odd group, I have to tell you. I mean,
Hey, I don't doubt
it's
that.
it's a strange thing. I mean, I certainly was the youngest by a good few years, like at least 10 years,
Right.
and still am. Weirdly, haven't been a whole lot of new young people that have kind of sprouted up, which is obviously good for me for now. But
That's not that.
it's strange, you know.
It's not that different to comedy, really.
Mm.
In that, I think when I was starting, there was quite a few people in their like 18, 19, my age doing it, and now the youngest people, or maybe I'm just getting older, the youngest people doing it feel like they're like mid 20s. There's no
Well, I
like
think people drop off as well. There's a lot of people that kind of
Yeah.
start and we'll do it and then
So-
don't. But you know, that's cool too.
I want to know about like those first gigs, but like take me back. So you're saying about growing up in Bangor.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like everyone gets it. Everyone has that time where you see your first card trick from like your dad or an uncle or someone, and that if that doesn't ignite you wanting to do that trick, I don't
Yep.
know who you are, because as soon as you see a card trick, you want to do it.
Yep.
Teach me how to do that.
Yep.
And the first time you get taught it, and you do it in front of people,
Mm-hmm.
that is such like a rush.
It's an addiction, like for sure. I think that's what keeps most people doing it, you know.
My first one was I think it was my dad got a pen. We're sitting side by side on the sofa.
Yeah.
He drew a circle. He said 1, I'm gonna make his pen disappear. 2, 3, and then all of a sudden,
Gone.
no pen. No, I don't want it. Just in case you want to use that, I don't want to tell you how he does it. I know, but
Save that for your set.
but let's just say down the back of the sofa there might have been a pen.
There might have been.
But when I saw that, I couldn't explain it. I thought I have seen real magic, and then he told me it, and then when I showed it to people,
Yes.
that feeling is so
Yes.
good. As a kid, you're
How
like
old would you have been?
22.
Do you know what though? You say that most magicians do get into magic in their 20s. Like weirdly enough, I always thought most people were just like me because it was 5 or 6 years old for me. But most people, it's older and they get into it usually as a way to pick up girls. That's what I
Right.
find. Yeah, yeah.
Right.
And then they find they actually like it and then kind of keep it up.
But did you?
and find it doesn't work on picking up girls anyway. So you know, but at least you can do magic tricks.
Yeah. Did you? Would you say about you were 5 or 6?
Yeah.
Did you see some? Was it something on TV you saw, or
It wasn't.
trick?
First trick I saw was in real life, and it was because my grandfather, he was and still is a big fan of magic, especially Paul Daniels. He used to watch him on the TV. So we were out in Orlando, I figure it was. Or no, where is it where there's Disneyland?
You and
Is
Paul
it-
Daniels?
Me and Paul Daniels, we were having a good time. And like, it was weird. He was hanging out with a 5-year-old. That was strange. But looking back,
But he could.
Rest in peace.
If people looked at your passport, he could change the age on it. Just
that's
like so
that's true. You know, it's very. Yeah, I laugh, but anytime I was at magic clubs, I always was so young. And I remember the first time I was dropped off at a magic club, my mum like didn't leave. She stayed. She was like, "This is weird."
You shouldn't drop your kid off at
Don't drop
an
your-
adult magic
Well,
club.
what you find as well is you hear like magic club. That's so cool. It's like it's a wizard school, but really it's just a bunch of guys drinking pints, like showing each other card tricks. You know what I mean? Anyway,
So you were on a family trip to Orlando.
family trip to Orlando, and I was 5 or 6 years old, and there's a magic shop. It's not there anymore, shut down sadly, called Magic Masters, and Papa wheeled me in there, and we stayed for most of the holiday. That was kind of it. Nobody else had any interest, but I remember the tricks pretty vividly, and I remember being really short, so I couldn't quite see the tricks. You had to hold me up type thing. But most people think get into magic because they're like, that's really cool, I want to do it. For me, it was, that pisses me off. I don't know how you did that.
That's me.
So teach me. I want the logic behind it, you know. And that's always been what it has been for me.
Yeah.
Like obviously, you know, you get a rush and the entertainment's fun, but like I just problem solving head turns on. I'm like, how on earth?
So that's what it was, more of a problem solving thing,
Yes.
as opposed to I want to do this for other people. You just wanted to know.
It was a
how it's
selfish
done.
thing for sure. Yeah, which
Right.
I think you get into magic for two reasons. Either that, and there's less people get into for that reason. Usually those people end up creating magic rather than performing it. Or you get into it out of like a place of insecurity, and it's quite a quick, fraudulent way to impress people, you know? So
Right.
you do get a lot of people who maybe don't have social skills or whatever will get into magic. And it's a good thing. It is a crutch, I'll say that. But
Yeah.
it is a good thing. So I got into it because I just was like, how on earth? And still now, if I see a trick, can't figure it out, wrecks my head.
So
I'll sit for hours and hours trying to piece it together, you know?
yeah, because I would think the longer you do it, the more I would think you could look at any trick in the world and know it. But is every
Yeah.
trick so different?
Well, no, I think it's more that magicians, we are quite creative people, so there's always new stuff coming out, and
Right.
there's no real end to it. A bit like comedy. I mean, you're hopefully never going to run out of jokes. People just keep coming up with new tricks, and well, I mean, I hope, but well, I mean, we'll see. Yeah, so for me, it was that I wanted to figure out how the tricks were done, and just kind of kept at it. I do remember the first one I ever, because my papa bought me the tricks, which is another weird double standard in magic, which is you can't reveal the secret
Yeah.
unless you like pay up. So it's like
Right,
it's okay if
right.
you're charging for it, you know what I mean? So anyway, paid up, got this little card trick, and got a trick with you might have even seen it. It was a pen trick as well, actually, where you stick a pen through a banknote and then rip the banknote and it goes back together. So those were my first two tricks. Then got a Marvin's Magic kit from my friend Christopher. That was it.
But
Down the
when
rabbit
did
hole.
when did you see that? When did you start to go, oh, I want to perform these? for
Straight
people?
away. As soon as I got it, I was
Gotcha.
back to the hotel and I was practicing. I have a weird memory because I don't know, it must have been an apartment we were staying in or hotel or something. It got robbed, and I remember my first thing was like, oh, I wonder was the magic trick done, and it wasn't. So I sat in the hot tub inside. What a weird vibe this is, actually, learning a card trick in a hot tub at 6 years old. I remember
Baller though, right?
it was pretty cool. I've never kind of topped that. I had so much self-confidence back then. I don't have it anymore. I was, I weirdly remember that vividly, like, and then
Yeah.
I just kind of kept learning them, you know. I didn't know anything else. That was it. And
Right.
I used to find it weird growing up, being like, what do people do in their spare time if they're not learning magic tricks? Could never understand.
Right.
That was everything that I did.
You
know?
thought they were the weird ones?
Correct.
Yeah.
yeah. I think it's strange because with magic, like the most interesting part is the stuff you're not really meant to talk about. So you have this huge part of your life, which is like this big secret that you
Right.
spent all this time by yourself. So in my head, I was like, well, what do people fill that time with? You know,
Get you.
I'm just sitting. I remember being so little that I couldn't understand what the magic books meant. So my mum used to sit beside me and she would read through the pages and kind of tell me how the tricks worked. Then eventually I learned how to read, which was a good moment in my life. I could read the magic books myself.
And at what point do you go, I want to be a performer, like on a stage, or you want to take it more seriously? I imagine, like, as supportive as your parents maybe were, it's a tough one to
Yeah.
to go, look,
Yeah, you know yourself. It's one of
look,
those things.
guys, uni and stuff sounds
Be
great,
a
but
magician.
I want to be a magician. That's the same with a
Yeah.
comedian. Like, it
Totally.
you worry about. Well, I definitely worried about what people would say. Not
Yeah.
my parents, but I was
Yeah.
worried about what the general reaction would. People think I'm mad if I want to do this.
Well, my dad, he like lectured at Queen's Uni for a while and stuff. So and they both went to uni. So that was kind of the route that I was meant to take. Credit to mum and dad, they were really good. They let me take a gap year, and then I took another gap year and another gap year, and I think I'm on gap year number 5 now. You know?
Right.
So they were good. Their whole thing was if they saw me working hard, they didn't really mind. So I did my A levels. That was the deal. I would do my A levels and get a year, and nothing really did happen in that first year. But I wanted to do it when I was really little. Credit like to me in a way. I knew that was going to be a weird conversation to have at 18, so I started doing shows early. So I would at least there was something there
You,
by the
you,
time I
you
left
could
school.
prove to them like I have a talent for this.
Like I got my first job at 11. There was a cabaret club in Belfast, and I used to go around the tables doing magic tricks at the little booth. So I got that, and that was I think probably the first like residency gig or whatever I had. So
at 11.
at 11,
Do you get
yeah.
it? Do you ever get any?
Definitely
like,
wasn't
Did you ever
legal
get
for
any
me in there.
abuse or any shit or people?
Oh
like,
yeah, loads. Well, I got more the older I got. Like when I was younger at 11, they were like, "Oh, bless him," you know. And then you would do something good, and it would be good. But
Yeah.
I think I stopped that when I was 16, and that was at the point where I was looking to do more stage stuff and less close up. But the abuse started to get worse and worse and worse. You know,
Right.
which you have to expect. It's part of the fun, to be honest. You know, if you can learn to do cabaret, you can do most crowds.
I can understand people giving shit to someone like me, like a comedian on stage who's going, "I'm funny," because people do find that like people take that kind of personally of like, how dare you think you're funny?
Yeah.
But I can't imagine. But you're telling me different. I can't imagine people giving shit to someone who's doing tricks or doing
It's
magic.
less like, oh, he's in the box. It's not really that thing. It's more that I think, and to be honest, I've only got it really in Northern Ireland. When I travel to other places to do shows, I don't really get this as much. But they're more just having the crack. You know what I mean? But when you're doing magic, and a big part of, I suppose, the show is that some things have to stay secret. You are nervous about people shouting stuff out. I'm not so much anymore because I've done enough shows to know that people don't. It's more like wisecrack uncles. They'll try and ruin the trick on purpose type thing.
Right.
It's less shouting out from the audience. It'll usually be someone on stage.
You're like doing the
immediate.
main bit and debag it, you know.
Because is there any audience interaction like on stage in your show?
Oh, so much.
Yeah, and you just have no idea what's gonna happen. That is part of the fun though, you know.
Well, exactly. That makes it.
Yeah.
I think I was literally saying in the podcast before this that we recorded that when you do crowd work and stand up, people find it so impressive because they know that they go and see you and you're telling stories. And 1% of people will think every night this is a totally different show and he's making this up from scratch. You're not. You've been working on these stories, trying to make punchlines better, all that sort of thing.
Totally.
But when you're doing off the cuff crowd work, the audience go. I'm not saying it's magic, but the audience go,
Yes.
"This is unplanned," and they're like, I think they can look at it and go, "Well, I could get up there and tell a story. I don't know how funny it'd be, but I could do it." But when you do good crowd work, I think they go, "Well, that's what I couldn't do."
Yeah, I think is what separates bad from good magicians as well, as the ability to do that different sort of thing. But and I think a good magic show should feel like it's happening once and it's not going to happen again as well. That was always my problem with the really like big box Vegas stuff. Is you could tell like every night the girl gets in the box, she gets cut in
Too
half.
slick.
Yeah,
or-
and that's just for me. That stuff's amazing, and I couldn't do it nor afford to get those big props.
Well,
but,
I
you
like
know,
it when I go and watch a comedian, he fucks around, and I go, I know he didn't mean to say that bit. He just thought of it on the spot, and he's enjoying it.
Yes.
Like I like to see.
I think
that.
it's more fun, definitely. And if you do have a show that's audience interactive, just by nature, it's gonna be different every night anyway, because every single person's different for the most part. But
How did it go down in school? Like what sort of school life did you have? Because it's
it's weird. I try to be honest, looking back, like in hindsight, it was grand. You know, I never got like ferociously bullied or anything for doing the magic thing. Like I know some people did, but I think that's, in fairness, people were pretty nice to me. I went to an all boys school, so there was no pressure for me to like use magic to like impress a girl or something.
Right,
So I just I used it just to have the crack. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I didn't really do a lot of magic in school. In fairness, more for the teachers, if anything. Like the teachers liked watching it, and that was cool. I used to tell teachers their bank pin codes and stuff when I started doing them, and that was fun. I usually got me out of some tight spots as well.
see even that, like you're saying that like just like a quick one. I can't fathom how, you know, I like you know when you if you guess a pin code,
Yeah.
I can't understand that. I can't understand
That's
that.
a whole different side of it. So I started doing all the classic card magic and manipulation stuff, all that, and pickpocketing, classic stuff. And then at some point, I made a shift to the like mind reading. It's not psychic, like obviously there's a trick.
Yeah.
And so I moved into that, and then got really into the hypnosis stuff. Realized that wasn't for me because it was just a bit too serious, you know, and there is a bit of risk with it as well. Then kind of moved back more towards the magic thing in the end. Now I mix them, you know.
Like the pickpocket stuff, like that is nearly one of the most impressive things to me.
Yeah, that's cool stuff.
for all magic. Like that is like when you just take someone unaware. Like that's
good stuff.
so
I
good.
was pickpocketed once as well, and I didn't spot it. And I think after that happened, I remember then seeing a guy called Apollo Robbins, and I kind of saw he's an amazing guy. You should watch his TED Talk. He pickpockets people after he tells them he's going to do it. So he'll he'll look at you and say, in a minute, I'm going to steal your belt. You won't catch me. And he steals their damn belt. And you're like, how on earth? But when it happens to you, you don't see it. So I don't do as much of that. After I heard a horror story, a friend of mine, he was doing an event. Wealthy people at that event. Good booking. And stole this guy's Rolex off his wrist, which is cool. But also, he dropped the Rolex and smashed the face. So after that, I was like, I just don't know. I mean, I would do it with a magician, with a Casio or something, because they would survive anything. I have a few myself. No hate. I have a few myself.
Oh, if a magician smashed the face of my Casio, I would say, it's all right, mate, don't worry. Yeah. Just fix it.
Yeah. And like, surely that's part of the deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's actually a good trick.
Do people ever do that sort of shit where they're like,
they do.
Listen, sort that out for me, can you?
Do you know what's funny? You get two types of people where what you'll get is, this is classic when I used to do tables and cabaret, is you do the tricks and you get the same stuff every single night. And you know yourself, you hear the same things every single night. The classic one is, you make my wife disappear. Ow, 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 ow. And you're like, oh, good one, mate. Good one. And
he's like, no, mate.
He's like, seriously. Yeah.
It comes up to you after.
And the wife wants the exact same thing as well. And the other one was, you make the bill disappear. Make the bill disappear. And you're like, oh, good one. And I was now I'll kind of call them out.
Yeah.
And have a bit of fun with it. Back then I was like a real people pleaser, so I'd smile and laugh along with it as well. But after the 900th
and then you
time,
go and pay their bill.
Yeah, quite so. See,
oh.
So, yeah, it's magic. I make nothing off the night. So you hear those ones, but then what you get is you get people, and they'll ask you to do something, and you'll be like, oh, good one, and then you realize they're being serious. They're being absolute. So you'll get asked for lottery numbers all the time. I'll get asked gender reveals. I get asked to do like dowsing to see what gender the child is, things like that, and you don't want to offend them by laughing, because sometimes they're being deadly serious,
Yeah.
And sometimes they'll ask you to do things which I suppose in their head they think's possible. You're like, that is like, you'll do a card trick, right, and whatever happens, a card jumps to the top of the pack and they're like, well done. And then they'll just suggest something outrageous. They'll be like, can you make it go up in that light bulb? And you're like, I believe you think I can do that, and now I look awful that I can't do that. The worst was, the magician Dynamo?
Yeah.
Well, he was like right at the prime of his fame whenever I was just starting to do gigs. And the classic one you get all the time is, can you put my mobile phone in the glass bottle? You'd get that all the time. And like, if you went up to Dynamo and asked him to do that, there's a chance he might not be able to do that either. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so,
of course.
So because there's a certain amount of prep, but people do expect like actual miracles, and of course you can do some stuff which would rival that. But
yeah,
I kind of want to choose.
I was going to ask if you take us up to 1,000 patrons.
I will. I take cash for jobs like that. That's
You're all the accounts.
I am. Yeah, it's not really magic, but I mean, it gets the job done.
What's like now? I can't be a hypocrite here, because I do material, but being a comedian is one of the only jobs where people ask you for a live demonstration of your job when you say you do it.
Yeah.
So I'm hesitant to say, could you show us a little bit of something? Because
I would love to.
But I worry saying that, because that's like, if I was on a podcast, someone can tell us a joke. I don't really have one-liners, so I'd have to go, I only really tell stories and I don't have enough time. So, but I would love to see something, but I understand if you...
I have to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
So I do all this stuff on camera. I can't do any of it in real life.
Right.
It's all fake.
Right, yeah, fair. So, and what was the moment?
No, I'd love to show you that. I'd love to show you something.
Okay.
I see how much we can get you boys down the back involved as well. Bit of fun.
I fully believe that.
So have you seen many magicians live before?
Honestly, I was like, he's going to have to ask us to cut that after the podcast.
Do you know what's funny as well is you do get more and more. There's a lot of... Sorry, keep this here. I don't want to be a bad boy. There's a lot.
By the way, see now, anything you do, I'm watching it so
like,
closely. I'm like, he's setting something up.
That's the other thing is, see, as a magician, people just watch you for the weirdest stuff. So I was doing a live YouTube show last weekend, and after I did all the tricks, I was in the green room afterwards showing tricks to people, and I actually had... So I've bad discs in my back, and I had like sciatica going down my leg, so I'm shifting around my chair like this. They're like, what's he doing? What is he doing? I'm like, my back is really sore, leave me alone. Or you might like reach into your pocket to take out your phone. They're
yeah.
What are you doing?
Everything's
but I also understand it, because that's me when I go see a magic show too. Like, the guy walks from one side of the stage to the other. I'm like, what's he getting? He's getting something,
Right,
and usually, to be fair to them, usually I am doing something. So they are right to watch it, in fairness. But what I was going to say is, jokes aside, like I joke about the not being able to do tricks live. That is like a problem that's happening these days. Is you get a lot of these magicians who they'll do magic on social media because it's a low barrier to entry to post something online now. But then they'll get booked for a show and they've never ever done a trick to a person in real life because they've learned it over lockdown or whatever.
Well, that's like people that maybe do sketches and get known for like, or maybe like, you know, a rant to the camera.
Yeah.
Where it's got punchlines, but it's not stand up. And I'm not.
Yeah.
As time's gone on, I'm less snobby about stand up. You might see someone like that. Say they're doing a live show in the waterfront. There are times, I'll admit, where I would have been like, they shouldn't be allowed to do that.
Yeah.
You know, and now I'm
no,
like,
fair, I get you.
fucking go. I'm like,
Do
go
it.
for it.
Yeah.
But you should know that will be really different to stand up.
100%.
And you see it.
Yeah.
Take venues on, and when it in front of a live audience, you can see people just not have that comfort where. If they are naturally funny, which a lot of people, if there's people on TikTok and they get on and rant about a new subject once a day, if you have like funny bones and decent delivery,
you could make it work.
You could get in, but just get in at the bottom level and enjoy it and learn.
I think it is smart when you're doing gigs, particularly. It's good to start small. I mean, I'd be mortified now if the next gig I was going to do was a huge theatre and I hadn't done all those shows back in the day. I think that builds those. Yeah, well, exactly what you said.
You also enjoy being the person on the bill with no pressure. You know, you're doing a 5-minute spot.
Yes.
Enjoy that because you get to mess around and you get to do it wrong.
That's what that thing Midweek Magic was for me back in the day. But it was also a great night. It was good fun, but you had the choice of doing a wee stand-up bit, and that's when I started doing stand-up. Rather than doing it in the cabaret club with 100 people where they would just hurl abuse at you, I'd rather do it in a kind of safe environment where they're there to see magic as well. It's not like doing a comedy night. Like, although maybe you get some headers, they are there primarily to have a good night, you know what I mean? Yeah. But it's better going in there rather than cold to like a corporate event. And you've never done the trick before, which, you know, that's ballsy. Yeah. Well, with that said, I should probably do something. I say, oh, what's in my pocket? What am I doing? What am I doing? Haha. Oh, should we do a card trick? Everyone
I'll be impressed by everything.
Can you just pretend to be impressed?
No, genuinely. Mad. Like the first magic I remember watching a lot of was David Blaine.
Unreal. I was watching one of his TV specials yesterday. I love him. He's amazing.
But I'm so impressed by it.
Yeah.
I'm so impressed by it.
But you know, I remember there was a magician, Chris Angel, and he's really famous out in the States, and I was obsessed with him as a kid, and I came across an old interview with him was it like Howard Stern, I think.
Right, yeah.
It gave me the fear. This is years ago I saw this, because he does the trick, and then Howard Stern just breaks down exactly how he did it right after it, which was funny. I mean, because it was a really obvious trick, but it was so uncomfortable to watch, and he was kind of like, because he's pure like mind freak and all that.
But the magic is it's the illusion, it's a presentation, it's all the thing.
Yeah, there's lots. I went on Nolan last year, and I was like, is this lad just gonna watch and then reveal exactly how this trick is done? But of course they don't know. Because it's hard to remember that not everyone knows how the trick's done. Like when you've done it 100 times and you can see what you're doing, you know what I mean? Yeah. But now the question is, I was about to say, I wonder will I move in a little bit tighter here?
Now, see, because Mike's got to fix a light, I firmly believe that when I went downstairs and made tea and coffee, he did something there when he did that.
We did. I threw him a tenner and we sorted it out. Do you know, I used to do that sometimes whenever I did early gigs. This is another mad story. When I started doing cabaret, actually, I had to be followed around by a bodyguard, like one of the bouncers, because I wasn't meant to be there. Like I was too young.
You were a kid.
And so this massive, big, tall guy, and he was a sweetheart type. Like when he used to hug me when I came in, I thought I was going to suffocate. Huge, big man. Right. But we figured out, because he was following me every week, we may as well just take advantage of that. So I used to have him doing like little assistant bits behind the scenes. So he used to do this trick where I would take like a ring and I would put it in my hand like this, and while they're looking here, I would sneak him the ring. It's over there, and he would go round the back of the bar, stick it on a wine glass, stick the glass back together, and then have one of the servers serve it to the table. So I used to have loads of fun getting. Not that I've done that with yourself, but yeah, just keep an eye on him. He does look like he could medal, you know.
Oh, he looks like, if ever a guy looked like a magician's assistant, it's that guy there.
See, so since I've started hiring people, I have a PA, but if we're out and about, I have to forget it's not okay to introduce him as my assistant, because people then think he's a magician's assistant.
Right.
And like people don't like to imagine Tristan in a sparkly dress. I found that out. They don't see him like that.
But
you know?
With a name like Tristan, that's a magician's assistant.
It is really, isn't
you know
it?
What I mean?
Yeah. And he would look good in a sparkly dress.
If I was your assistant, I would say I'm a magician's assistant, because I'm not lying.
Do you want to be?
People think it was very cool. No.
You can be.
I don't have time. I would like to be, like if you could teach me.
It's just a big undertaking, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a big undertaking. Right. Yeah. Do you play cards at all?
I play Jack Change It.
That's
professionally.
absolutely. It's a good game.
Yeah.
Professional.
I go to Vegas twice a year.
This way here. Oh, hang on. I want to turn back. Maybe if I do. How's this? Does that work? Oh, this is good.
Is this all part of it?
This is part of the show. Yeah, that's the
Because I
hardest
looked
bit.
at them when they were saying that, so I don't know what you've done.
I'm actually just gonna, every time I need him to look away, I'm gonna mess my mic up on purpose. Oh, that's good. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll leave the coffee on the floor so we have more space. Do you know that's actually the hardest part of being a magician is the mic management? Because usually I have a Britney mic on or whatever,
Right.
because I kind of fancy myself as a bit of a Britney. But yeah, that's the hardest thing. You turn up to a gig and I would forget to choose mics, and you're having to do a full magic show with like a handheld. That was a tricky one.
Right,
This is a level above though. We're all right. Right. So I figure camera here. I'm gonna show the guys at home. I mean, you can kind of observe
Okay.
and try and catch me out.
Okay.
And if you- and it-
Spoiler alert, I won't be able to.
He might. He's smart
No,
guy.
I've quite a low
Smart
IQ.
guy. I'm gonna flatter you first, and then hopefully we nicer to me.
Hello.
Can you see all the cards are different, Jin? Can you see all the cards?
They're
are
all different.
They are different. They're kind of ugly cards, actually. Shouldn't say that. Someone sent me them, but they look like a kid's painting, don't they? They're not perfect. Your choice. Do you want to pick a card, or do you want us to think of a card?
I'll think of it.
That's good. That's good. Think of a card. Okay. In that case, let's see. Let's see if we can do this. All right. Hang on. I'm gonna take a stab. Okay.
Now, see, here's the thing, right? If this is the card I'm thinking of,
Yeah.
I won't be able to really. I don't think I'll do the rest.
Well,
of
maybe
the
we're
podcast.
starting too big. Maybe keep thinking of that. We'll come to it in a second in that case, because we don't want to start off with the best thing first. We gotta work our way down. Right, we have the table between us. If you were right here, I'd have you poke your finger out. If you tell me to stop, will I go through?
Stop.
Here, do you want to go again? Or are you happy here?
I'm happy there.
You're sure?
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
I'm gonna put that there. Are there any mirrors? So I might be able to see if you show the reflection. So I'll close my eyes. I'll give you this. Oh, that was a good shot.
That
Wasn't
was
it?
great.
That was
yeah.
a good shot. I'll close my eyes. You can show the fellas in the studio. I'll shut my eyes like this, away from the mic, so you know my eyes really are shut.
Okay.
Are you happy with that card?
Well,
It's not the one you were thinking of, Benny
Hold on.
Chance, was it? That would have been weird.
it's not the camera I was thinking of, or the card I was thinking of. Sorry, I feel like I'm under a lot of pressure.
Magic's hard. It's hard.
Yeah.
Am I good to open my eyes?
Yeah, be a shit assistant. Yeah, you can open your eyes.
You'd be a brilliant assistant. It's okay.
Pick a camera, any camera.
What would be really good is if we were actually, this was the setup, and they thought that we were messing around, but secretly you were doing the magic. Okay, I'm gonna show you guys at home one more time. The cards are different. That is important. You're happy with that one?
Yeah.
Do you want to switch, or you're good?
No, I forgot my original card. Now I've remembered.
Yeah. Well, you can change that anytime you want. I mean, no one's gonna know but me, so it's all good.
Okay, no, I remember it.
You happy?
Yeah.
It's a lot of thinking work for a magic trick like this. It's a lot of. Here's, I'll close my eyes again, and you throw the card back into the pack face
Right.
down, so I can't see. So I'll kind of scatter them on here like this. Okay, I'm gonna close my eyes, and if you go ahead and you throw the card in for me, probably. Oh, it's in already.
It's in. Yeah, yeah, it's in.
Oh, it's not that one though.
What one?
It's not. You threw it in earlier, did you? Ah, sugar. Okay, we might have to. Oh no, we can fix it. But well, at least we know it's fair. That's okay. So you picked a card.
Yeah.
You saw they were all different, and you threw it in somewhere random.
Yeah.
Okay. So I obviously can't know what your card is, more so where your card is. My eyes were shut. I'm going to try to find it with one hand.
Right.
And if I can do it, all I ask is just a polite round of applause. That's all, just for my ego, you know what I mean? That's all I want. It can even be a one-handed one.
I'll give you a round of applause
Right
when
now,
you get
watch me, because you might think I'm going to cheat. I'm actually going to do what we call a square up. So, you know, sometimes magicians hold like funny breaks with their fingers or something.
Yeah.
That is fair, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's fair. So we'll leave these right here. Okay, with one hand. I'm left-handed. Child of the devil, is what they tell me. So I just shake like this, and then you go up like this. You do like a little clink like that, and when you do that, a card jumps to the top of the deck.
Okay.
Except it doesn't. Wasn't the 8 of hearts, was it? No, it would have been so good. Do you know what it was? So usually there's a thing called card control, right? So when you would have put the card in, I would have spotted it and be able to see, but I can't see it. 2 rules in magic, right? First rule. Do you know what the first rule is?
No.
Never tell them how the trick is done. That's
Right.
the first one. Second rule is never do the same trick twice.
Right.
Third rule,
Yeah.
it's my own little rule. If you get a trick wrong, you fucking own it. You
Right.
own it. So what am I going to do? It definitely wasn't this one before I move on.
No.
Was it close to that?
Yeah.
It was?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Like close in number?
Yeah. Close. Well. Yeah. Close in number and face.
Color?
Yeah.
Was it really?
Yeah.
What was the... don't tell me just yet. I'll tear this one up. What was the card?
5.
5 hearts. I'll leave this here for a second. It was the 5 of hearts. Let's see what we got. Let's say 5 of hearts. You sure it was the 5 of hearts?
Yeah.
You didn't think... Is that the card you thought
Oh.
of or the card you picked?
No, that was the one I showed them second, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. 3?
No, it was a 3 of diamonds that I showed you.
Let's see, was it... Well, what was the 3 of... Hang on, let me see. I think we're missing a
The
card.
one I pulled out of the deck
Was
The
the
second was the three of diamonds.
which card did you pick? Which card did you pick?
When you said think of any card.
No, forget that one.
Oh,
What
three of
was-
diamonds.
So well, it wasn't. Oh, okay, but not the 8 of hearts. Okay, three of diamonds. Okay, that's all right. Well, we can improvise. This one.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So that's tricky. That's tricky. Can I borrow your hand? I'm gonna have to stretch away from the mic for a second. You put out your hands and see if we can do this without kind of getting completely out of shot. Can you still hear me? Okay. Hang on. Can you still hear me? Okay. Okay. Look, three. It was definitely the three of diamonds.
Yeah.
But bear in mind, you could have picked any card you wanted.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But it wasn't this one.
No.
All right. Damn it. So we'll leave this. Put your other hand on top of it and squeeze it between your hands. So here's what we'll do. We'll mix these up, shuffle them. I can go back to my relaxed position. Whatever you do, do not move your hands.
Okay.
Because something bad's about to happen. In fact, I'm going to take these little pieces of the card that was not to be reached towards me. I'm going to slip these inside. Slip them inside. Yeah. Okay. And we're going to cover them all up like this. So, right, we have a card that was not your card ripped up inside your hand, and the card that you did pick, which was the three of diamonds.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
And again, like guys, you could have had anyone he wanted. Squeeze tight. Tight. The apprehension. Can you imagine if nothing happened? It was a big waste of time. It was the worst magician ever. Squeeze tight.
Yeah.
We'll do this. We're all adults, but let's pretend this does something. That's always my favorite thing in magic, is the magician's like, as if this does anything. You know what I mean? All right, reach towards me. Here's what's mad. Yeah. If I lift up a little bit. If I reach in. Oh yeah. I think this is work.
My hands are sweating a bit.
I just make you nervous. See? Right. See, that's so mad because that card goes back together again. Is there your 5 of hearts? Was that the one you said?
Yeah.
That's the one you said. Is that the? Wait, hang on. Which means inside your hands. Yeah, those pieces. Check them out. Show the camera.
It's three of diamonds.
Oh!
But how? Hold on.
Thank
hold
you.
on, hold on.
Thank you so much.
Now, I thought I'd messed that up.
Never. That's honestly is half the fun of my job, is just kind of acting like, oh no, shit, wait, what? And then you see people panic. So then when the trick works,
But hold on.
you get more,
Hold on, hold
more
on.
mileage.
The card, I saw you rip it up,
Yeah.
and it was in 8.
Yeah.
And then,
Mm-hmm.
but you originally said to me, think of any card.
Yep.
And I thought of a card, and then you went, don't worry about that.
Yeah.
And then I showed them the three of diamonds, so they thought I'd picked the three of diamonds.
Yep.
But actually, it was 2 cards,
Uh-huh.
because I'd thought of one and I'd picked one
It's a
out.
double whammy. Tell you what.
But how did you...
I'll
when
tell
I
you,
have my
give me the
hands-
pieces. Give me the pieces. I'll get rid of this. We'll do a different trick. Well, so what part's confusing you? I'll break it down for you. Because do you know what? After the show, I will teach you one trick for real. Because everyone needs to know one card trick. You
Yeah.
have the pen trick, but you need the card trick too. Yeah. What part confused you?
Well, you think I just have the pen trick?
Oh,
You see my thumb?
yeah. That is your thumb.
What about that? Do
Oh, see, that's beautiful. That is beautiful. And from my angle as well, that was perfect.
you want to see another trick?
Yeah, please.
I can put a little man
Okay.
inside my body, and I can make him
Yes.
talk.
Go.
So, what?
How old's this man?
73.
Okay.
So look, here he is. He's invisible. Now, that's
He
that's
is
the other thing
very.
I've
I was
heard,
about to
he's
say,
invisible.
because I don't see him.
Okay, so what do you want him to say? Because you can make him say anything.
Your balls will thank you.
Okay, he does struggle with the letter B, but here we go. Here he is. Here he is. Ready?
Yeah. Hmm.
Now, he does struggle with the letter B.
Your walls will thank you.
Okay, here we go. I think he's...
He's waking up.
Oh,
Oh, see, this is good. That's good. Do you know what my favorite thing to do for? And actually, I'm really surprised you didn't, because most people do. After I do that trick, everyone always says, "We'll put the three of diamonds back together." So I have to take the pieces and squeeze them, and then like this is the. I used to do that one. Check it.
I already know you've done it. That's... But that does...
You can check the pack if you want.
But hold on. You said, right, at the start of this,
Mm.
you didn't... You said think of any card, right? And you didn't... I just thought of that.
Yeah. That's one of my favorite.
But I wasn't looking at it in the pack when I
Nah,
thought of it.
nah,
Or
nah.
was it?
I think that's better, to be honest, is when you just have someone think of something. Well, I'll tell you, I can show you another one if you want. It's a
Yeah.
bit more like that, yeah. How you boys?
Yeah.
Do you have, actually, our phones are on airplane, but can we take our phones off airplane? Well, I don't need to take mine off airplane.
For a second,
Take yours.
I forgot that I set my phone under the table, and I went to feel for it, and I went,
Where on
"You
earth?"
bastard!"
That's actually how I make my living. I just steal shit.
You're just a thief.
I am. That's
So
all. it is.
so you want me to take
Goodness
my
me,
phone off?
30
airplane?
WhatsApp notifications. I
wow.
have never had that in my entire life. Everyone suddenly wants a hold of me when I get on this podcast. It's an effect. I'm going to use the calculator right now. Listen, there's about how are we doing on time? Listen, we're flying because I like to bake this one up. All right, I'll tell you for why. Because what always happens is I leave and you boys have conversations, and people rationalize the weirdest things. So I'm going to take you through a journey here. You want to come on a little journey with me?
Yeah.
Okay, lovely. Do you want to come on a journey with me? Okay.
Yeah.
Do
we all
you,
do.
you guys take your phones as well. I know you're working hard, but like we'll multitask. We're not good at multitasking, men. Isn't that what they say? Right.
Yeah.
Open. Maybe should we do it? The bonus round, okay? If you get this question right,
Yeah.
you get a special prize.
Right.
Okay. So if anyone gets it right, you get a special prize.
So is it mad how? Do you feel like you're regressing the childhood here? There's
something that is true. You're not the only person to say that, and I think what it is that and this sounds really woo-woo, but magic does kind of snap you into being really present. You're not thinking about what's happened this afternoon or what happened this morning. You are, which is kind of what it's like when you're a kid, you know?
Yeah.
Which sounds really deep. It's not really. It's a bit of magic, but there is a certain element of that.
And Mike, what did you say?
She never is thinking about what's happening.
What's he
Joel,
talking about
make him
there?
disappear.
What's he talking about? You know, in this case, I shall.
Throw
How
a
long
card
do you
in
want
his
him going
throat
for?
and cut it. What?
How long do you need him going for?
Oh, just ever.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
That's fine. You come work for me, my podcast. I don't have
Stop
a podcast.
stealing people, Joel.
I don't have a podcast.
Joel,
Shane.
stop stealing people.
Shane, I don't have a podcast.
Do you pay stuff?
No, I just hypnotise them.
Thank
And
Thank
do you know that
God.
was the other joke people used to make for years and years. I've been with my girlfriend 8 years, and that was the classic joke. It was like, "Oh, did he hypnotise you?" Because she's a lot better looking than me. So, and at one point I was like, "Stop telling people how I'm doing it." You know?
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
I do. There's a girl who used to hypnotise people, and when you hear this, I can't even say what the brand is because they sponsor me now, so I can't even tell them this. But there's a brand that may or may not sponsor me that I enjoy, and this girl used to hypnotise the staff in the place to get free product every time she went in.
But then
I'll tell you, but we will have to cut it out.
Well, tell us after. But hypnosis, I feel like I don't feel like
Not
I'm
hypnotisable.
susceptible.
That was so funny enough,
hypnotisable.
and you might not be. That's the thing is, there's a lot of
probably
I
am.
suppose hypnotists are like everyone can be hypnotized. It's not true. If you don't want to be, firstly, you won't be. You know.
Yeah.
But I was at a show and there was a hypnotist, and I was like, there's not a hope. I'm too smart. I'm tuned in. You know what I mean? Hands were stuck together. I couldn't pull them apart. It was the weirdest thing. But I was too young to be at the hypnosis show, so he noticed that, unstuck my hands. And Darren Brown hypnotized me as well, one of his shows. And that was... See, I feel like even if he hadn't, I would have played along because I wouldn't have wanted to ruin the show. But he stuck my arm out like that, and it was a weird old thing. Yeah. But it's less... You know what? It's not as woo-woo as you think. It's just suggestibility, like you say.
I love woo-woos.
Me too.
I love
man.
hen-do
Me too.
cocktails.
There's something about that.
Do you
isn't
find
there?
people...
Never been booked for a hen do, actually, believe it or not. Like, it's like the one type of event that I haven't done.
I've done a gig at the Galway Comedy Festival where it was the audience was 90% a hen-do,
Wow.
and it was horrendous.
Sure
It was so bad.
Oh, God.
It was so bad.
How many people are we talking?
Oh, 80?
Oh, that's a
Well, not
hen,
90% because that would be a huge
I was
hen-do,
about to
but there was a
say,
big hen-do
that's
in.
not a special girl.
What cocktails do you like?
At this moment in my life, I don't drink. But if I were to drink, it'd be an espresso martini.
Have you ever drank?
Yeah, absolutely.
You just knocked it in the head for a
It's
while?
not even, there was a phase there where I was getting the fear like halfway through a night out rather than the next morning. I was like, there's something wrong here. I think part of it was because as I say, you get asked to do magic, and
Yeah.
sometimes opportunities would come up on a night out where you'd meet someone or whatever, and I always had this fear, like, what if I meet like the one right person and I'm just clueless? So I
Yeah.
usually stay away from it, but it's certainly not a thing for life. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I love a gin and tonic as well.
Make a few disappear
I
anyway.
certainly can. But you know what? I kind of live vicariously through my brother because
Right.
he's just a header. And he goes out. Well, the thing is, and you probably know this yourself, if you're doing a lot of events, often, if it's a nice event, it'll be a free bar or like a drink sponsoring the event. So he takes them up on the offer.
Get
he
you.
absolutely does.
Makes up for it.
Listen, if I'm not drinking, he may as well. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I'm a tea man. In fact,
Well, I
chose-
offered you tea or
did.
coffee.
I went coffee because I want a little boost. You know what I'm saying? But I do like a
But there's
punjana.
caffeine in tea.
There is. someone told me
Punjana's
there's
one of them
as
from
much
Munster.
caffeine in a cup of tea, and I didn't know if
More.
that was true. Yeah, is it that there's
don't know.
more in tea, or is it that like the tea bag itself has more caffeine, but you only get I don't know. There's something to it.
I don't know either, but
It's
next
something
time
we
you
should-
come on, it'd be better etiquette, I think, if you had tea.
I think so. Well, I mean, I can do that. Yeah, I
Right.
do love a cup of tea.
Sorry, before we're talking
No,
about
not at
cocktails,
all. I will. So here's the question, right? And there's a bonus here if you can get the answer right. So the question is, which website on the internet, not counting the dodgy ones,
Oh no.
has the highest word count? Not that the dodgy ones have a particularly high word count anyway, but
No.
well, what do you think? And not counting social media, so not Facebook and Instagram and stuff.
Part of me feels like the
Mm.
right, there's the
You know
right
the right
answer
answer?
here,
Mhm.
and I feel like if we're talking words,
Mm,
well, I say it out loud.
go for it.
Wikipedia. Bound to
Wouldn't
be.
you know, boys? He's got it absolutely right. And do you know what your prize is?
What?
You can choose anything. I'm a magician. I'll just do you know what? What can your prize be?
Friends?
I'll give you the gift of good magic luck for your show tomorrow night.
Okay.
Not that
Yes.
you- not that
Yes.
you
No.
need
No.
it.
No. I'll take it.
No, you absolutely take it. I'm doing an event tomorrow night. Doesn't that
Shit.
suck?
Next.
You're doing
What about next
week, though?
Saturday? Yeah, you come next Saturday.
There's a chance I'll be in London, but if I'm not, I'll be there.
Okay.
All my life, I promise.
Sorry.
That's part of the
Don't
trip.
need that
I
level.
just
of,
no, I swear, Shane. I swear.
such an
I'll be
intense guy.
Where was I even going with the damn trick? Oh yeah, Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Go to Wikipedia. You boys do it as well. Go to Wikipedia. Aye. This is a fun one. Yeah. So we're gonna do some math. Are you boys good at math? Anyone here? I'm not great.
I
say.
failed my maths GCSE 4 times, and the
That's all
first
right.
time I took it when I was in school, I took in a novelty Smarties calculator.
That's fantastic.
True story.
Maths was always my weakest subject as well. I gotta
Right.
tell you. But I failed my driving test 4 times. That's what I was. That's
shouldn't be on the
my
roads.
claim to fame. I shouldn't. I actually believe that. Yeah, I do believe that. There's a guy I know did it 13 times, and I'm like, at what point
Nah.
are you just a risk? Like
Yeah.
even when he passed, it was barely. You know what I
Right.
mean? Anyway, you're on Wikipedia.
Yep.
You boys on Wikipedia. Right. Here's what we're gonna do. Would you actually, on a separate tab, or the same one, search how many articles are there on Wikipedia, and then
On a separate tab.
well, it doesn't really matter. I don't mind. We can go back onto it in a second.
many-
Articles, because here's the thing. In a second, I'm gonna get used to think of some stuff. People constantly think, oh, but like, how many articles really are there? How many words are there? And they rationalize it. Maybe this is just guessing. You know what I mean? Which maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But can I grab your phone once you got it here? Because I'm gonna do a wee bit of math. Now I'm gonna show you what.
Do you want me to read the answer?
If you even put here, can I see what you've got? Because it
Yeah.
does change. It might just be higher. Let's see what we got. I see. That's good. Can we do? Is this the top one that came up for you?
Yeah.
Right, we'll do that. Okay, so you can check.
Don't
I'm
look at
not-
any other tabs.
I'm gonna promise not
And
to.
turn it to the camera.
I shall not. Right, it's telling us.
Or
There's,
type in the word P to search anything.
yeah, it's a risky. I do a lot of magic with mobile phones, and you do see some stuff. I'll tell you.
You will if you
see
open
some
another
stuff,
tab.
and we'll keep it quiet. We're gonna cut it out. It's all good. Okay, so there's 6. That's just a big number. Get the Smarties calculator right now. We've got 6 million articles. 6,405,357. That's if you multiply that by the amount of words added or words per article. 9.4 billion words on that website. That's
Right.
big. Because each of you are going to think of one, right? And I don't want you driving back tonight or walking. Don't know what you do. I don't want you going back thinking, I bet you everyone just thinks of the same thing. And there's only a certain amount of words, right? 9.4. Now, of course, there's already so many words in the English language, but that probably is every word in the English language, right? Today's featured article, let's not use that. I'm going to let you search for something else. Take that there. Right, you fellas do this as well. This is important now. Don't think of the featured article because I saw what it was. That's too easy. Here's what I need you to do. I want you to think of something on Wikipedia, or just think of anything, but don't go for something obvious. People will now at this point go for Punjana, Manscaped, lights, camera, action. They'll go for something like that, which makes it really obvious, right? Go for something you don't think I'd get. Now,
Just a word.
it can be anything you want. Guidelines, maybe like a celebrity, a country, a food, but you actually can go for anything. That's just in case you're
Right,
struggling.
right,
to think.
right.
Now, before you do anything, I can read your thumbs. So I'm gonna face this way here. See when you're done, I want you to take your phone. I'll lock mine for now. Take your phone, hold it to your chest like this,
Yeah.
so I can't see anything.
Don't lock it.
Don't lock it. Keep
Okay.
it to yourself. Now I'm gonna look this direction here,
Right.
and you guys search something too as well. So you have something. I'm
Should I
gonna
start
look at-
typing?
Go for it. Start typing, and then once you've hit search, hold your phone to your chest like this, and I'm just gonna stare at the clock.
Dan, what's your question?
Usually I make eye contact with someone at this point, but everyone in the room's taking part in the trick, so I gotta.
Do you have a query, Dan?
We're all good. I just have to behave with the microphone, see. So there's a lot going on. Have you got something, Shane?
Yes.
You've got some. Have you fellas got some? Right, so this is important. I'm not even going to look in case you flash. You're not wearing glasses, so that wouldn't really happen. I'm probably safe. Here's what you need to do. Glance down like this,
Yeah.
and then scroll down to about halfway down, 3/4, 2/3, whatever you want to do. You guys do it too. Scroll down like this,
Right.
and then whenever you want, stop.
Okay.
You got something?
Yeah.
Okay, you boys do it too. So here's the important part of the trick. You've got to think of a word, right? But if you just go for a really simple word like we, she, but, he, it's a really shit trick, so don't do that. Go for a nice big long word like 7, 8, 9, 10 letters if you can get one. Importantly here, you can change your mind on the words. So like, don't just go for the first one you spot. You got some?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to change it?
No.
Okay, so hold your phone to your chest again. You guys got a word each as well? Yeah. All right, so to make this harder for me, take your phone and scroll again. Scroll again.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, delete the tab. Delete the tab. You guys delete the tab too. Unless you think you're going to forget the article. But
Right.
have you done it?
Yeah.
Lock your phone. Lock your phone. Lock your phone. Okay, that's a big setup for a trick. But what I used to do is I used to have people think of something and then like write it down or something. And people would say, oh, well, he probably just read what I wrote down when I wasn't looking. Can happen in this case. Not even to mention the fact that you're thinking of a word that you just scrolled at somewhere randomly and it's in your head. Would you describe that as fair?
Yes.
It is pretty fair, isn't it? Fair, fellas. Okay. Listen, so don't you, under any circumstances, tell me what you're thinking of. Okay. Do not. You can put your phone away if you want. By the way, you can relax as long as you remember the two things, or even just the word. Okay.
Jesus Christ.
In fact, most important, you remember the word. Right.
Just so that I know you're gonna get this.
Well, I was about to say it's the one trick. I'm gonna grab a piece of paper. It's the one trick. This doesn't work 100% of the time. It's not like that where I know the card's gonna go at the. I might get it a wee bit wrong, but I'll try to get it close. I'm gonna go off the mic here to get a piece of paper. So
I'll fill time.
you can do that.
Yeah. What's your favorite song?
I enjoy Thunderstruck by AC/DC.
Don't know if I know it. Well, I know ACDC. Obviously, I don't know if I know that song. I'm just gonna sing it. What? Okay. Thunderstruck.
That's actually pretty close. James, very, very. I've heard it's the whole song basically. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. So it's a bit like that game 20Q. Do you remember the little console thing you got as a kid, right?
Yeah.
So just to check, because again, people do think everyone just goes for the same thing under pressure. Like maybe everyone thinks of whatever. What word are you thinking of?
What word?
Yeah,
Civilian.
civilian. Okay. Did you think of the word civilian?
No.
That would have been mad though if you
Yeah,
had.
it
It would have been good. Civilian. Would the word civilian tell me what the article was? Do you think, or are they pretty? Is a loose link?
Nah, it's loose.
Loose link. Well, in fact, you can tell me yours. What was the article?
Battle of Britain.
Oh, good. So that's actually a great one because you went really obscure. Is yours as obscure as that?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know what? Let's just go for you because you're on the camera. What was the word you thought of?
Consolidated.
Consolidated. Do you reckon your word is as hard to guess as consolidated? Similar sort of tier?
No, slightly
Slightly less than
smaller word.
consolidated. Got it. What was the article?
Vikings.
Vikings. That's mad that he's went for.
Both seas.
Yeah, there's a little link in. Did you go for? In fact, don't tell me, because if you did, then I'll be able to guess really obvious. So, think of the word. See the article you thought of. Ignore that. That's forget about it. Don't worry about it. Just think about the word. Okay.
Yeah.
So, you guys at home watching right now, you're gonna see in his face. You're gonna see this happen, and you're gonna watch it back, and you're gonna see it happen. But it's one of these things. The harder you try not to give this away, the more you give it away. It's a bit like if I tell you right now, don't think of a pink elephant.
Yeah.
It's all you can think about, right? So if I tell you,
Elephant.
try not to think of that word,
Mhm.
it's just gonna blast in your head. Okay,
Mhm.
so just try and relax. And here we're gonna give this a good go. So I'll work this out slowly but surely. Question before I do it: was this the first word you picked, or did you change your mind?
It was the first word I picked, Joe.
Did you think about changing it?
For a split second, then
You
I
saw
said
another
no to-
option you could have picked, and then you went back, or you just saw one?
Just, I was happy with what I had.
You're just content.
Yeah.
I like that. Decisive. Okay. Think of the first letter.
Yeah.
And I try not to give this away.
I won't.
The eyebrows are going absolutely nuts.
You trying to say I have some sort of tail?
Mate, I don't want to be the one to say it.
Okay.
Did you ever win when you played Jack Change It?
Yes.
Yeah.
I've never been defeated.
Really? We might play a game afterwards. Right. Think of the first
Please don't.
letter. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. Now, there's a couple of things happen there. Firstly, I think he's getting a little bit confused with the actual thing that he thought of. That's still in your head. So try not to think about the article itself. It doesn't start with an R, does it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna write down the letter R. Think of the second letter.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, just for the sake of it, it wasn't an article with just like one word in it. There's loads of options. I'm guessing that you could have gone for.
Oh yeah, loads.
Yeah. Okay.
Loads.
Think of the second letter.
Yeah.
A, B, C, D, E, F. That was an easy one. That's good. Do you know what happens there? Is people. It's funny you see it how people are tense because they don't want to give it away. But the second the letter passes, they can relax a little bit because they don't have to pretend anymore. You know what I mean?
Hey man.
I used to do
It's
it
all
where I would
good.
say, "Can you?" This is a tricky one, but put your hands just like this.
Yeah.
Okay, in your head, just count how many letters are in the word.
I can't use my hands.
Well, if you do, it's gonna help me
fuck
out
am I supposed to
substantially. So this is it. Oh, now I know roughly how long it is. That's okay. It's probably 9 or 10.
Okay.
You have it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't even.
Boys, I'm gonna take
Thinking
it.
of how it's
I'm gonna
spelled.
think of the third letter.
Yeah.
A, B, C, D, E, F. All right, I have that. That's okay. This is what I've got. Close your eyes for a second there. I'm gonna show them what I've
Can I
got.
take my hands off the table?
You can relax now.
Okay.
Yeah. Keep your eyes shut while
I
I show
am
them
relaxed.
what I've got. Okay. It's one of two words. I'm gonna say. Oh well.
Jesus Christ.
Okay. Don't look at what I've written there, but take hold of that there.
Yeah.
You just don't look at it. Just keep it close to your chest for a second.
Yep.
Okay. I'm committed
Mm-hmm.
for the first time. God help me if this hasn't worked. What was the word you thought of?
Recommend.
Recommend. Oh, I was very close. Take a look at what I wrote.
I recommend it.
Really?
Yeah.
Look at what I wrote. Look at what I wrote.
But like, yeah, it was recommended, right? How?
No, you showed the camera.
But
The
So
jaw
there's
drops behind the camera.
6 billion articles, right, or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. Don't tell me the article you thought of, by the way, because I could go for that too if you want.
I do want you to do this.
Yeah, most people just leave it there, but I feel like it'll be more satisfying for the podcast. You know what I mean?
But see the thing I picked.
Yeah.
It couldn't have been more at random.
Mhm,
You couldn't know why I picked that.
No. Well, see, this is the thing is, I like it that way because that way that's the other thing. I know it's weird. If you'd gone home and you'd picked Punjana, you would have thought that is impressive. You guessed it, but he probably would have known. That's why I like people to go Battle of Britain or Vikings or whatever. Right, we'll do the article, but I will disclaim. Usually, I don't do this second bit because it is harder to get in the word. I do it letter by letter. So if I don't get this one right, just let's just remember the tricks I did that were good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
you know what I'm saying?
That's the
You like
most-
that? You're happy with
that's
that?
The single most impressive thing I've ever witnessed.
Oh, look at that. See? Plaster on the website. That's good. That's good. I'll pay commission on it.
Yeah,
Thanks.
please
Okay, listen. So, right. Hopefully you guys watching at home as well, you'll pick up on little things here. So, remember the game I said 20Q?
Yeah.
Play a game of that, but there's a catch because there's got to be a catch. The catch is that you have to say no to everything.
Right. I think you know this even before we do this, and I don't know how that's possible because you say
Nah,
you're
I
from
don't yet.
Bangor, and I think you're from space.
Similar place, you know. It's no, I don't know it yet, but I should be able to get it in about 5 questions. Well, that's my average.
But I could have picked. Even the framework you gave us was very loose.
Yeah. Having said that, I'd say you probably this is just a guess. You probably still have gone for one of the categories that I suggested because most people do. You did, yeah. So I'll tell you one of the little secrets behind it. I don't say, but what I'll typically do, and I can't remember what I did there because I dragged out the trick. But what I usually say is, think of a food, a place, a country, a person, and the one I want them to go for, I'll just look at them when I say it, like a person. I can't remember if I did that for you, so I don't know if you thought of a person. But that's, you can pretty much guarantee what topic they'll go for. Anyway, here's the 20 questions game. So sometimes you'll be telling the truth, sometimes you'll be telling me a lie, right? Big
Right.
fib. The answer is no matter what I say.
Can I just say before we start this,
Please.
despite what casting agents think,
Mm.
I'm a great actor.
I think you're a wonderful actor.
Thank you.
We're about to shatter some dreams here, so we'll see. Think of, do you know, just to make this harder for me, right?
Yeah.
Just to make this harder, take a second to settle, because, right,
Don't
you're
need
going to
it.
say, now do you understand the rules? Yes.
Well, no.
It's worth checking. So if I said to you, your name is Shane Todd, you'd say,
Correct. Yep. Say yes.
no, you're gonna say no to everything. Okay.
Right.
Those are the games. So is your name Shane Todd?
No.
You're damn right. Is my name Joel M?
No.
No. Are we in a fantastic studio right now?
No.
Where it's absolutely lovely. This is a very comfy chair, by the way, just gotta say. I'm gonna do anything I can to put you off here to try and make
Okay.
you crack and loose. But
You
but
won't.
Okay. Think about the category, and
Mhm.
say no. Is this a place?
No.
Is this a person?
No.
Is this a food?
No.
Is this a person?
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 No.
I feel like you guys will figure this out before me because you know his interest. He says he's going for something random, but he'll probably go for something. Okay, keep saying no matter what. Is this
No.
thanks. Is this a man?
No.
Is this a woman?
No.
Is this a man?
No.
Is this a woman?
No.
Is this a woman?
No.
Is this an attractive woman?
No.
Is this a woman from Northern Ireland?
No.
Is this a woman from the States?
No.
Think of the first letter. A, B, C, A, B. Don't look for a second. Alright. Think of the second letter. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z, Z, Y, X, W, V, U, T, S, R, Q, P, O, N, M, L, K, J, H, G, F, E, C, P, A. Got it. Oh, that's probably... Is it... Okay. Say no. Is this someone you think I would know? Say no.
No.
Is this someone you think other people in the room would know?
No.
Okay, that probably is close. Right. I'm going to take... I'm not sure now because you're... Okay, I'm going to say
Because I'm a great actor.
you are a bloody fantastic actor. Right, keep it... Okay, forget the game. We're back to reality, Shane Todd. Back to reality.
Sorry, man.
He was
Whoa.
really, really into that as well.
Yeah.
Do you have
Okay.
like a buzz after doing
Yeah,
that?
yeah, I feel good.
Yeah, it's just part of the craft.
I feel
isn't
like
it?
I also did something. I had a strategy there.
Did you?
Yeah.
What was your strategy? Or maybe it's best not to tell me.
Do you want me to tell you?
Yeah, go on. Because you are actually hard to read. I'm joking, but you are tricky.
So I was saying no,
Mm-hmm.
and then I was shaking my head.
Yeah.
And then when I wanted you to think it was the thing I was lying about, I didn't shake my head.
Yeah, I picked up on that.
Oh.
But I didn't realize you were doing it on purpose is what I
Right,
mean.
yeah,
You actually might have. But I still think I've got it, to be honest. Do you guys think you
I
know who
have
it is?
no link to this thing.
Do you think you know who it is? Okay, so be honest. It starts with the letter B, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Britney Spears?
No.
If it's not Britney, I know the other one. It's a girl that starts with the letter B. Who's it? It's not. It's gonna be one of these other pop stars. Who do you think it is? It's one of the other Britney Spears or
No.
Forget the yes or no game. You're killing me. It was it? Which one was it?
Neither.
Barbie,
No.
Bruce Jenner.
No.
It's probably someone I just don't know. Then I don't know.
It's not. Fuck you. It's not a person. And you know it's not a person.
I don't.
You do.
Do I?
You do because you know everything. You're in my brain.
Right. Well,
You've hijacked my
how
brain.
close am I?
Well,
Is it a
it's-
girl? At least tell me that.
No, it's not a person.
All right, I'll take another
Joel.
guess then. Right. So tell me the topic.
It's a place.
Banger.
No. It's a place I've never been.
Belfast. Oh no.
No, and I have no link to it. So you could not.
Ballyboley
have
Road
guessed it.
in Larne.
No, it's not a place here.
Is it not? Is it somewhere I'll not know because I didn't do geography A level.
You will have heard of it.
Will I?
Yeah.
I know I will. No, you can tell us. I don't know. I'll take defeat on that one, but that's okay. I know I was because I got the letter B, so that's good. That's good. What was it?
I know that's it.
Go on, turn it over. What was the place before you turn it over? What was it?
The place was Bulgaria. Oh my god.
Oh dear. Oh, thank you very much. Come to all my shows and give me that support.
I've never been to Bulgaria.
Nor have I. I've heard it's nice.
But that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying did you make me pick that?
Well, so this is the thing: is there's two types when you're doing mind reading stuff. It's either you're popping a thought into someone's head,
Hold on.
or you're pulling
How
a
can
thought
you
out.
how can we move on from that quick?
Is
you
that
you
is that
said any article on Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Okay, you did say a country, a
a,
place.
yeah, that's a big
But even
part
if
of
even if it's a country or a place,
still a lot of countries.
there's over 50 countries.
How many countries are there? I actually don't know the answer to that. That's some countries. I wouldn't have known that.
No.
Yeah.
But it's not like I went with, somewhere at Tenerife. I've been
Yeah,
to Tenerife
yeah,
loads
yeah.
on holiday.
I saw Vi. Good spot. Good spot.
But stop doing that, Tony. Talk about the thing that you picked.
Let me tell you, if you ever get the chance, because if you like that, the stuff I do on stage, because you have big crowds, you can do a bit more cold reading. So you
if
get
you're
some
saying,
bizarre
stuff,
stuff.
oh, come to a live show, I'll follow you like a messiah. You're the messiah. If you start a cult, I'll join it, and I have full.
I'll even waive the membership fee for my cult. You boys can get in for free as well. I'm glad you like that trick, and do you know what? I'm glad that you're impressed, because some people they don't think about it enough, and they just think, well, that's cool, but like everyone probably thinks of Bulgaria, and that's why I like when you guys think of something that's different. You know what I mean? Well, I promise the second cameras go off, I'll teach you a mind reading trick that you can do.
More importantly,
On my
and
heart.
more mind blowing than that, Dan, why did you pick the Battle of Britain?
That was a good one.
I assumed it was put in my head by Joel.
Well, yeah, it's something I think about often. You know, I can't say I was there, but in a past life, it's weird.
that
People think
honestly,
of some really weird stuff though. Like you get some bizarre things.
I'm impossible to throw off. So I thought we could have a conversation about anything. You could change the in a normal conversation.
Yeah.
You could change the subject to anything.
Yeah.
And that's why I think people like the podcast, is because we can talk about any nothing's off
100%.
limits, whatever it is.
Totally.
But you doing that, I can't concentrate because I don't think you're human.
Oh, I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry. I am
But
human.
you're just sitting there like you're like.
But you know what it is? It's a weird one. I'm very flattered, by the way, truly. Thank you very much for being so nice. But you do. It's not that I don't find it cool. I love it, and the way I enjoy it is by kind of sitting back and just watching people kind of like squirm a little bit. I find that really,
Right.
really fun. But you do these tricks enough times where you have to remind yourself that like
what you
it's
thought.
someone else is seeing it for the first time. You know what I mean? Because in my head, I've done that 1,000 times since I was like 13. But you need to remind yourself that like that's a new experience for some people. So
That's incredible.
well, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
That's
I
incredible.
appreciate that. I do, and I'm glad I got it right, because I don't take the piss whenever I say this sometimes doesn't work. Sometimes doesn't, like it's like anything, and magic tricks do go wrong, especially the mind reading stuff. Because that's the other thing, is people can just lie. Like
But I knew,
trusted
I
you.
knew you knew.
Yeah,
And you had no way of
you had
knowing.
faith
But
in
I
me.
had, when you were saying it's a person, it's Beyonce, it's Britney Spears,
Yeah.
I knew
Yeah.
you didn't think that.
Yes.
I go, he's got this.
Yeah.
But there's nothing on me that's a tell.
Well,
Although I do think there's that's not going to give you a full answer. But you know, if I
No.
say pick a number between 1 and 5, and you go 1, 2,
There's more.
people
scope.
smile a bit,
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
they,
yeah.
with the first one?
Totally. And I think it's.
But we didn't do it
there's
with every
loads of- there's layers to it. Like there are layers to it, and you get some people.
Like an onion.
Magic is like an onion.
Yeah.
Funny, most magic is you're usually just missing one or two key pieces of info, and not having access to those two pieces of info makes it impossible to work it out backwards. Like you can't figure it out, because
right.
the trick usually is that the moment that's important that you have to catch, you forget about, you don't remember that. So it could you have the luxury of watching this back and you'll see what you were doing. But it's a fun one.
Let me ask you about a couple. Let me try and
Please.
properly interview you.
Please.
Let me ask you about TV stuff. So you
Yeah.
had was this your first series that was on BBC, or had you?
That was my first series.
I know you'd
yeah.
been on things, but this is
No,
your own
that
thing.
was the first series. It was so much fun to do. We got lucky that we just filmed that right before everything shut down. So
Oh, right. Okay.
so we got lucky with that one, and then it was like over a full year before it actually came out. So that was my first one.
What was that
really
like
enjoyed it.
versus what you thought it would be like? The experience of
It was
because you're like I've done some TV stuff.
Yeah.
Probably do more of my own stuff, but you control everything when you're doing
that was the trickiest part of it, to be honest, was going from being a creator who, if I wanted to poke something, I just did it, and suddenly there's no, I love the whole thing. It was amazing, and Waddell just down there, they were unreal to work with. They were so good. It was just, of course, there's more moving parts and there's more pressure. Like when I'm doing a trick, I can't just be as like faffing around like this and having fun with it. It's like this has to be 2.5 minutes long. This is when the magic reveal has to happen. It has to be really tight. Be looking at this camera, So there was a lot more going on, and I did feel there was a lot more pressure on me, because usually I just have a bit of crack with it, and that's kind of all my TikTok and Instagram videos are basically that. Like I'll just sit down with my brother with 3 magic tricks and be like, watch these.
He's
and
great
let's see
too,
what you
by the
think.
way.
I love him. Yeah, he's
he's
best
really
friend. He's so good. But he moved to Liverpool to study there recently, so every time I want to film videos, got to fly him back over, you know. But it's do you know what? we
How much
enjoy it
will-
more now because we see each other less. You
How
know.
much will people think he's lying when they're in the airport? Where are you off to?
Yeah.
My brother's a magician. He's
Yeah.
flying me home.
Well,
Alright,
do-
mate.
and do you know what as well is, see an airport, that is my worst nightmare for traveling for shows. Like, see the amount of shit you have to carry in your bag as a magician, like magnets and big ropes and needles inside them, and like
Rabbits.
I'm yet. Yeah, the rabbits cause a real nuisance. Doves, that's the big one.
Does your brother, have you taught him enough stuff? So when he's in Liverpool, is he away for uni?
He's away for uni, yeah.
So did he come to my show this week?
I'll let me just ring him now and see. Now, do you know what? I don't know. I know he watches your videos.
The venue went on fire. I'm just wondering why.
I
he
saw that in
wouldn't-
your story. Like, it was probably more likely he caused the fire.
That's
That's
what
the
I'm
type of
thinking. That's what I'm
the type of
thinking.
person he is. Yeah,
That's what I'm thinking, because he tried to do a trick for me and it's not gone well.
It's gone haywire. Like,
Yeah.
how was Liverpool?
It was unbelievable. The venue
Yeah.
genuinely went on fire. 2 fire brigades came.
So it wasn't a fire test. The fire was real.
The manager told us specifically, this is not a test. The venue is on fire. Run.
For
So,
God's sake.
but here's the thing. I just bought a lovely coat from Zara. So even though I heard it was a real fire, I was like, I can't see flames. And I went to the green room to get the jacket because I'd bought it that day.
I mean, that would be me if there's ever fire alarms or whatever. I don't take this advice, kids, but I will run to grab
Get
all
your
my
stuff.
bits. I will.
Yeah. But
That's gonna go bad.
so we went
one day.
outside in the cold, me and the whole audience, for an hour and 20.
Are we just chatting amongst them? And
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 fire. Well, I was more like conscious of like, am I going to have to cancel this?
Yeah,
So I'm
totally.
trying to figure out what's going on. 2 fire brigades go down, sort it out. The show was supposed to start at 9:30, which is late. Show started at 11:10.
oh my goodness, how long was the set?
I was supposed to, when I realized we could go ahead, I was like, I'll do 45.
Yeah.
I did an hour and 10 minutes, and it was the best show of my life.
Oh, that's unreal.
It was
class, man.
incredible, because I
Yes.
thought the show would be dominated by people wanting to talk about what
Yeah,
had just happened,
but it wasn't.
But they were like the best. They were like,
Oh, that's
they
cool.
were excited and all, but then because of what had happened and the giddiness, but then they were like, okay, we're here for the show.
That's savage. That's lovely. That isn't
Brilliant.
it?
So
Oh,
good.
happy
But
days.
does your
Liverpool's
brother-
a good spot? See,
Does your brother know enough tricks that he can go over there to is he running about halls being
he
like,
actually knows nothing. This is what is quite funny. Is it was maybe 4 years ago, I came to this realization that Ethan doesn't actually know how any of the tricks work, because growing up, like, my girlfriend knows how they all work. My parents know a whole bunch of them. Some of my friends know because they just saw me practicing. Brother just wasn't paying attention. So I remember one day, like back, well, it was maybe longer than that ago, back when I was with mum and dad, and I came in just to test something that I was going to do at the show and did it on him. And when I say he freaked out, he was running around the house. And I was like, I didn't know you didn't know. So and it was perfect because he's always made YouTube videos and stuff himself, so he was happy enough to be on camera.
and that's probably good for
good
natural
fun.
reactions to
Yes,
him too,
totally. Well,
because
the way we do it is I plan out what tricks I'm going to do. That's not off the cuff. I never lie about that. But I never tell him what we're going to do. And then we just see how the reaction is. So to like get a video with usually my videos are 3 good reactions from Ethan. It might take me like 7 tricks to get the right ones. You know what I mean?
Get you.
Yeah, I don't lie about it. You know, it's going to be...
Yeah.
That was the other thing with TV that you didn't have the advantage of with, like, say, a TikTok video is if I filmed a TikTok video and it wasn't very good, I could just film more and just wait until I got. We couldn't do that with TV because the episodes we did
course.
was with one group of people and it kind of followed a story. So
Yeah.
it was like if they didn't react to the trick, it was like, well,
Yeah.
all right,
Yeah.
And that was challenging, I suppose.
I want to also ask you about just social media in general. Like I sort of say, like, I don't know anything about all these apps, and I mean that. I'm 33 and it passes you by very quick.
Yeah,
I think the
totally.
last thing I was like, okay, I sort of know this, is maybe Twitter and Facebook.
Yeah,
Even Instagram, like, I'm on there, I'm doing a lot of stuff,
yeah.
and people be like, oh, you know what you're doing on that app.
Dominating.
I don't really. I can figure it out, but I don't know all the cool features,
Yeah,
and
totally.
don't know what a fucking reel is and all
See,
this.
nor do I really, to be honest. I think that you can get really caught up in that stuff and then pay no attention to what you're actually putting out. And then,
Yeah.
like, the people who I know who are the best with social media don't necessarily have an audience because, like, they're spending so much time, like, with their perfect hashtag strategy that they forget that the video has to actually be entertaining. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I always find that if you just get something that is by nature very good and it's engaging, the rest kind of does sort itself out. I mean, you know yourself. I mean, you look at what you've managed to grow already without really knowing what you're doing. As you're saying, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was kind of the same as me when I started TikTok. Hadn't a clue. And like I know a little bit more now, like how algorithms work. But even knowing it doesn't mean that you're necessarily gonna like smash it. You know,
So
there
will
are
you-
certain tips and tricks though. Like, but
With,
it's
like, the
it's
sh-
mainly to do with the content itself rather
The
than
sheer amount of followers you have, will you
Yeah.
still put something out that you go, this is fire, this is great?
yeah, yeah.
And and maybe vice versa.
It absolutely, and there's times you think, oh no, this is the one, and it just
And
flops
things
down.
you think, well, this is grand, and
Yeah.
they kill, because like
100%, yeah.
with some of our podcast clips, like we put them up and we're on a few of them, we're like we're over 1 million views, we're like 250,000 likes, and
Yeah.
that's like, we're not setting up to that to be a clip. That's just
Uh-huh.
part of something that's already out.
Well, I
so it's
saw
a-
one on the For You page yesterday that he's put out with, was it like all painters are drug dealers or something like
Yeah,
that? And I
yeah.
pissed myself. But the second I saw that, I didn't even look at the likes. I knew that would have done fairly well. You know, it's
right,
just-
right.
It's 90% of it is the first 2 seconds of the clip. That's the secret. Like,
See, I don't know.
because you could have I mean, the thing is, you're used to probably you're doing longer form stuff, and people invest into it, and they're gonna stay. But people who are just kind of going through mindlessly, you need to really capture them. And
Yeah, yeah.
I think you could have the best video in the world, but if you don't prove that within the first couple seconds, they'll never watch on. You know what I mean? And then it won't get shown to more people. So
I suppose the short form stuff was, we were told like not, because it was all like, when me and Mike went to tech together, and we started like putting out social media videos, like sketches, like when, about 12 years ago.
Less than that, like, but yeah.
I think I was doing stuff, and then it was about
Yeah.
10 years ago, and it was all about, you want it to be like 4 minutes, 10. Sometimes we do stuff at 10 minutes, and it's a
yeah.
sketch.
yeah,
And then Vine became a thing, so it was
Totally.
like, it has to be 10
flipped it on
seconds.
its head. Yeah.
And then that changed, and it was like, we're back to the long form.
Yes.
And
I
now we're
prefer
back
the
to
middle.
short.
I prefer the middle ground where
That's
like,
why I like
I
Instagram.
do about 30 seconds for me, which is enough time
And you
to
think that's
entertain
middle?
someone.
See,
That's
I think
middle for me. Yeah.
a minute and a half, 2 minutes is middle for me.
Well, see, this is it. It's different games. I never did really look. This is funny me saying I never did long form where I do like 2-hour one-man shows, but like
Yeah.
on the internet.
Is that what your show is? You
Well,
do-
there'll be an interval in the middle or whatever,
Yeah,
you
but
know.
even so,
But so I'm used to yapping away and doing bits for ages. So whenever I started doing the short form stuff, I was like, how am I supposed to get this across in that
Yeah.
short a period of time? You can do it though. I mean, I think it's about really cutting the fat and
Yeah.
and not being too like
Precious about
attached
what
to
you're
it.
losing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is hard because there'll be so many clips that I'll have to cut out of a video with Ethan, and I'll just think that's the funniest thing I've ever seen, like the way his face went that. But it's an extra 3 seconds that like someone who doesn't know Ethan
Oh,
probably
wow,
doesn't
right.
care about, you know.
Yeah.
So you got to be kind of ruthless, or you can just post loads and wait till something sticks. But that's just more work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Let me. I could talk to you for hours.
100%.
But I want to ask you about the live shows you're doing, Ulster Hall.
Yeah, yeah. You've done Ulster Hall before, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
You're past that. It's bigger things now.
No. It was.
How is Ulster Hall? Am I in for a
It's-
good night?
I played it wrong first time I did it.
Okay.
I played it wrong, and I sort of let the occasion get to me a bit. And I just wouldn't do that now. But also, I don't know. I was out a little bit rabbit in the headlights, but then I've loads of mates who have done it for the first time, and that's not the case.
Yeah.
I just sort of like, I don't know. I let myself get too nervous. Maybe I was in the venue for too long in the run up to it or
Yeah.
whatever. But
Fair.
but then I did it the year after that, and then the year after that with a couple of shows.
Yep.
And I think I would always go back to it. Like, I'm doing SSE tomorrow night and next week,
That's so cool.
but next year I might
Congrats.
do Black Box
Yeah.
from the solo show.
Totally.
It's just, I like different venues, different
100%,
experiences,
yeah.
and Ulster Hall was great. And then when I went back, I was like, oh, I've been here, so it's fine.
Yes. Yeah.
And like Waterfront is maybe like acoustically and stuff the best. It's purpose built.
I want to do Waterfront at some stage, and I think the reason for that was I remember seeing Darren Brown. That was the first magic show I ever saw live when I
Right.
was 12. He did Waterfront. I was like, one day I'll do that.
Yeah,
so we'll
yeah.
do that someday. But it's an awesome
Yeah.
venue for that type of thing.
And what is your show? You know, you doing a little bit of stand up in it, or you
Yeah, it's a mix.
working with a crowd?
To be honest, I try to make the show as much about the people there rather than me, and that's not like that I don't want the attention. It's that's what makes it funniest, and like it is a funny show, not because I'm a funny person, but because people are funny, you know. And,
Yeah.
And you're putting them in such a weird situation, and the whole show's audience interactive, all of it, every single trick. Maybe with the exception of one, it's all getting people involved, getting people on the stage, and I just love it.
Are you excited for it?
I can't wait. Yeah, I mean, live
Says
shows are
in
my
December?
favorite thing. What did it? 18th of December, so right up near Christmas.
Great.
If you're around, give me a shout.
I'll come to that. I genuinely would. Like, I
Please.
find all that stuff very impressive. I'd love to see you live. But let me ask you this: a final question.
Yes.
When you're doing the show,
Mm-hmm.
so before every show, including Saturday,
Yes.
I go into the venue, have a look, have a look at the
nosy.
lights. I go, yep, we're happy enough here.
Check it all out.
I go to Nando's.
Oh man, I love a Nando's.
Then I come back. So what are you doing before Ulster Hall? What are you thinking? Do you might be someone who doesn't eat before shows?
Well,
No, if you guys
you
do
know,
that.
I do that like one meal a day diet for the most part. So I have like all my food in one big thing. I just like it that way because
Right.
I forget to eat during the day anyway. So I absolutely will be having dinner. It'll be between 3 options.
Right.
It'll either be Nando's,
Yeah. Good location for Ulster Hall.
superb location, superb, and I love a Nando's.
Yeah.
It could be a Boojum, but the only problem there is
Heavy.
I might like fall asleep on the stage. That's the
Yeah.
one thing. That's the one thing.
Heavy. Unless
Very
you go
heavy.
bowl, but
And even then, like it still packs a punch.
Yeah.
You know. So between the two, I'm probably going Nando's. At the
yeah.
minute.
What was the third one?
Or it's go for a steak in the Bullet Hotel. That's my favorite spot. Right
No,
there.
that's baller. I would do that.
It's,
That sounds like some. Frank
that's my
Sinatra would do.
go-to spot if I'm feeling. If I have a good day, I'm taking myself off for a ribeye in Taylor and
Do
Clay.
you tuck like a big napkin into your neck?
I let them do it for me. I just sit down. I'm like, lads, I'm here. Do you know what was funny actually? In the Bullet, I went in one night and the manager in there is amazing, a guy called Pedro, and he comes in and he recognized me either from TikTok or whatever. He's like, "It's so good to see you here. We started this this celebrity like autograph book," and I was like, "Well, I'm not a celebrity, but I'll take it." And he gave me the book, and there was only one signature before me, but I didn't see who it was. So I wrote mine down. I felt like a baller. I was like, "Yeah, write my name on the Taylor and Clay book." Person before had been there the night before in the same seat, and it was Wayne Rooney. What a downgrade! Can you imagine? Can you imagine the per soul that has to look through that
Well,
book, and they're like,
Well, they probably don't ask everyone to do it because here's the thing: I've been in Bullet before,
"Oh no!" Well, see, I
and
think it's
I
a
sit
new
with a
thing.
pen in my hand.
We'll go together sometime, and we'll get you in the book.
We'll split a page
100%.
and a steak.
Yeah, we will. It's not cheap. You know what I mean?
I know you'll pay for it.
Yeah, I will. I will.
Well, you'll pay for it. Let me see that card
These
machine.
bits.
Blip, 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 blip. Oh, it's.
I'm still
clear.
working on that one. Honestly, like I'd be
We can make
unstoppable.
good money off that because I have paramilitary connections. So if we team that up,
Synergy is really going now.
let's do it.
Let's cut the
Um,
podcast and chat
There's so
about
much
that
more
separately.
I could chat to you about, but
100%,
that honestly blows my
Oh,
mind.
thank you
I have
very
so much
much.
appreciation
Thank you.
for that art.
Oh,
You know?
thank you. Thank
Because
you.
not
man.
I don't
Likewise
ha-
with
I
yourself,
don't have it for
honestly.
all art, you know.
Mm.
Poetry. What are you doing? But yeah, Joel, thanks so much for
No,
coming
it's
on.
my
I really
pleasure, mate.
appreciate it.
Thank you for having me
and,
on. Thanks,
and-
fellas.
But how did you? How?
I'll tell you. Can you keep a secret?
Are we off?